How the President of the United States is elected. With me, your host, President Paper Barack Obama. So the President and the Vice President are elected once every 4 years. Like I have told you previously in the Executive Branch movie, there's only a few requirements to become President of the United States. You must be at least 35 years of age, a native-born citizen of the United States, and you must have been a resident of the United States for at least 14 years. Also, I may not have mentioned this in the last video, you cannot be elected to a third term as the president. Only 2, and some amendment said that. So, here's some stuff we didn't learn in the last movie. How do the political parties choose their candidates? Well, that's a pretty good question. It's totally up to the political parties, actually. The political parties, most of them, they hold conventions. I mean, conventions of all things. I mean, they're pretty freaking awesome. They're these large meetings attended by delegates. Some delegates are selected by state primary elections. And some are elected by state caucuses. They're very much like primary, except with the public voting instead of secret ballots. And some are chosen for their prominence in the party. A majority of delegate voters is needed to win the party's nomination, which means like you gotta get the majority vote, which is more than half for stupid people. In most cases, the delegates let their chosen presidential candidate select a vice presidential candidate. So, like, mine was that one dude, Joe Biden. Yeah, he's pretty freaking awesome. Okay, so the candidates for the president and vice president run together. In the general election, each candidate for president runs together with a candidate for vice president on a ticket. Voters select one ticket to vote for, in which they can't choose a presidential candidate from one ticket and a vice presidential candidate from another ticket, which would be kind of weird. Electoral college. Now, this will make voting sound pretty kind of stupid, but trust me, voting is pretty freaking important. Electoral college. The national presidential election actually consists of separate elections in each of the 50 states and the District of Columbia. In these 51 elections, the voters are really voting for electors pledged to one of the tickets. These electors make up the Electoral College. In most cases, the names of the electors aren't written on the ballot. Instead, the ballot lets voters choose among electors for each ticket, naming the presidential and vice presidential candidate. So, yeah. Each state has the same number of electors as it has senators and representatives. So, like, for example, there are 2 senators from each state, but the number of representatives depends on the state population, you know. But according to the most recent census, which you must turn in your census, it's important-ish. Yeah, actually, it's more important. Well, but except for the District of Columbia, although it isn't a state, it does participate in presidential elections. As of now, it has 3 electors. Yeah, that's pretty small, but they'll get over it. The people in each state vote for the elector people in electoral colleges. Like, you know, in those places, the election is a winner-take-all. Like, whoever received the most votes in that state, or in Washington, D.C., or in this District of Columbia, gets all the electors. Except for Maine and Nebraska. Because they in those states, just 2 of the electors are chosen in a winner-take-all fashion from the entire state. The remaining electors are determined by the winner in each congressional district. I don't know what that means, but anyway, it's like district voting for each one elector. Anywho, the Electoral College votes for the president. The Electoral College then votes for president and for vice president. Which they each get a vote. The electors are pledged to vote for particular candidates for president and vice president, and which in most elections they vote in accordance with the pledge they made. Not clear what would happen in that unlikely event that a large number of electors violated their pledge and voted differently. Normally, one of the candidates for president receives majority, which is more than half of the electoral votes. That person is elected president. And that candidate's vice president running mate will then also receive the majority of electoral votes for the vice president, and they're made vice president. If there's no electoral college winner, that's kind of creepy, but there is a solution for that. The House of Representatives chooses the president then. Yeah, it's pretty freaking rare, So, yeah. Well, that was my movie on how presidents are elected. Bye!